Today I am sharing with you my journey as an artist working from a commission-based business to earning over 50k a year. So if you're interested in turning your art into your full-time income and a thriving passion, then carry on watching. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned, today I am sharing my story of how I became a full-time artist. So I've mentioned previously on my channel the kind of story that I've gone through to get to where I am. So I thought that I would share it properly for you guys. So I started my business back in 2012. I started off with oil paintings that I thought at the time were quite good, and looking back at it now, they weren't bad, but they weren't at the skill level that I'm at today. I really wasn't familiar with the medium and I needed to give myself more practice, but that's where I started my journey with oil painting. And it quickly developed into going into watercolour and trying coloured pencil. So when I first started out, I knew exactly that I wanted to draw animals, and that was the route that I wanted to go down. I've always loved animals. I wanted to draw them. I wanted to paint them. That was what I wanted to do. The kind of thing that I struggled with here was finding my chosen medium. Now, you guys know that I love coloured pencils now, but at the time, delving into oil paints, I thought, yeah, oil paints, this is what proper artists do. This is like a proper art medium. But it wasn't for me, and I wasn't gelling with oil paint, and I was struggling and trying my hardest to make these oil paints and me work together, but it wasn't a good marriage, wasn't a good match there. So I decided to try some watercolours and also some coloured pencils. So I got myself a set of Derwent Colour Softs, and I think I had some Derwent Intense as well, and I obviously had a old pack of Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours. That's what I started with, and I started to first of all try out the coloured pencils, and I started to draw people's pets and that kind of thing. So I drew some animals for friends and family and kind of went from there, and I wasn't really kind of enjoying it, and I just wanted to get into some other things just to see what else I could like, or what else I was good with. And I was working with watercolours, and I kind of went down this route of doing watercolour kind of sketchy animals because I really liked the kind of loose style. I often do them now. You've probably seen some videos on my YouTube channel where I've kind of narrated a watercolour painting. I love to do that kind of thing, and it's really freeing and everything, and I thought, yeah, this is the route that I want to go down. This is for me. So I started doing these watercolour animals, just doing whatever I wanted, and then I decided to make stationery. I've always been a stationery nerd, and I've always wanted to be one of those people like Rendale Designs where I just have my own stationery range, like homeware range, that kind of thing. That was what I was aiming for at the time, and I was like, yeah, doing these watercolour animals is really going to get me there. But I didn't have the passion behind that particular art style and that artwork to really push it forward and to really keep it sustainable. And eventually I became bored with that style, and I wasn't necessarily marketing myself properly and the art style properly either. I was just kind of posting on social media and just kind of, I put it up on social media and I thought, there, that'll do well. The art will speak for itself and I won't have to do anything for it, because I didn't have any kind of business knowledge or any idea of what it meant to build and sustain a business at that particular time. So when that failed, I became so demotivated and I was doubting myself, like, maybe I shouldn't be an artist, maybe my art isn't that good because nobody is liking it, nobody's buying it. But that wasn't the case. It was the fact that I hadn't marketed myself and I hadn't put myself out there more and really pushed the art. So that's when I decided to really turn myself to coloured pencils, because I was really enjoying working with them in between doing these watercolour things, and they seemed to be getting a lot more sort of traction on social media over my watercolour work, which at the time I didn't like, because I was like, I really want these watercolour works to do well, but they're not. It's this coloured pencil that's doing really well. And then I decided to continue drawing with coloured pencils, and I drew a few portraits and posted them up, and then I decided that these were doing really well and that I was actually really enjoying coloured pencils, so why don't I stick with it? So the first thing that I did when I decided that this was what I wanted to pursue and this was my chosen medium, I put up a post on my Facebook page asking for people to submit their images for a competition that I called the Next Top Pet Model. And people posted their images in the comments of this post, and then at the end, I can't remember how long I gave, it must have been like a week or so, I then chose my favourite image from the post of the comments, and that was going to be the winner of the competition, and I was going to draw it, and I was going to gift the winners this portrait for free. And the post did incredibly well. I found that people love to talk about their animals and share their animals, and basically they just like to post images of their furry friends. And I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Maybe I could do something with this. So from that post, once I'd chosen the winner and drawn it and sent it out, I then had people asking if they could have their pet drawn. And I was like, okay, sure. So I was charging for kind of commissions at the time at a discounted rate of, I think it was about £35 for an A5 portrait in coloured pencil. So those people that commented on the post, I gave them that discount, and that gave me the opportunity to kind of work and build my portfolio on animals and doing pet portrait commissions. Now this was the route that I really thought that I was going to go down. Like, I love to draw animals, and the whole experience of drawing people's pets and sharing the photos with them and getting their feedback, and then you'd have some people that would cry and share their emotion at the end, and I was like, oh my god, and this thing that I've drawn has brought tears to this person's eyes. I was like amazed by it, and I was kind of high off of the kind of endorphin release that gave me when I showed someone the final image and they were that happy with it. I loved that aspect of it, and I was like, I just really want to do this for the rest of my life. So I set about setting up myself a price list and posting regularly and being consistent on social media with posting drawings, work in progress, that kind of thing, sharing offers and all of that. And the commissions grew from there. I was having orders, had my order books full for a year in advance at one point, which was insane. I still can't believe that happened. But eventually the commissions started to take their toll on me. Now, as a creative person, you probably know that we like to have a little bit of freedom in what we do, and the fact that I could kind of use the coloured pencils in any way that I want wasn't enough for me. Drawing commissions and everything for someone doesn't allow you a whole lot of creative freedom, because drawing pet portrait commissions, people want the exact likeness of their pet. They don't want it altered in any way, or any kind of weird colours or anything that may deter from the actual likeness of the pet. They want it drawn exactly like their pet, and that doesn't allow you to be creatively free in any kind of way. And I was getting really bogged down with the fact that I couldn't draw exactly what I wanted to draw, and it started to really get to me, and commissions became a whole chore, and I was like, something is wrong here. This is what I wanted to do. This shouldn't be such a chore, and this shouldn't be making me feel like this. So I had to really reassess with myself what it was that was wrong. And I realised that it was that I wasn't able to do what I wanted. I wasn't drawing what I actually wanted to draw and doing what I wanted to do. So, in order to fix that, I decided to potentially open up another income revenue. So I really was passionate about teaching people, because I'd started my YouTube channel at this point and I was posting videos, and I was getting comments on my social media pages like, oh my god, how do you do this? Can you tell me the colours that you've used? Can you tell me how you layer? And this kind of thing. And I was thinking, well, if people want to know this, maybe I could start charging for something like this. So I decided to open up a Patreon page, and I started to create videos of at the time, commissions. So I would record a little bit of a commission and I would post it to Patreon as a tutorial just to show the process and get people used to the idea of layering and that kind of thing. Now, Patreon started off quite slow, and I joined Patreon like when it first started as well. So there wasn't like an established audience for people to just find, and like you could post on Patreon, but you wasn't able to be found easily because there wasn't an audience on there. It took a long time for Patreon to build up like this audience that was already there and hungry for your content. So it took a little while for Patreon to grow and a little while for this income stream to grow as well. At the time of doing these commissions and starting Patreon, I was actually working a full-time job as well. So I was doing this whole thing in the spare time that I had between finishing work and going to bed, which wasn't that long, and also just spending all of my weekends doing everything that I could to build my business and to build a full-time income so that I could potentially leave my full-time job. And when I actually left my full-time job, it wasn't because I was in a position to leave because my art was doing so well. I was earning a healthy income. I was earning about £7,000 at the time from Patreon teaching and commissions, which wasn't a lot, but it was a nice kind of side amount, a side hustle to my full-time job. It was actually when I fell pregnant with my son that I obviously had to leave work because of maternity leave, that I could turn my attentions to doing art full-time, especially when I left at the beginning of maternity leave before I had my son. I could just draw all day every day, and I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I want to do. I am not going back to work when my son is born. I'm just going to do this, and this is going to be my full-time job, and this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be an artist. And I was not at the time in a position to do that financially because I had a mortgage. I just bought a house with my husband, and we needed to obviously pay the mortgage, otherwise the house would go. So I really needed to give myself a kick up the butt and make this work, because if it didn't work, I was going to have to go back into employment, and I'm one of those people that I cannot work for other people. I hate working for other people. I really love being my own boss and doing my own thing. I've always been very independent, so working for someone wasn't an option for me, so I had to make this work. So I just decided to research into business and to really grind out some artwork and to really put all of my attention and focus into building my business. And at this point I realised that commission work wasn't scalable and that I couldn't earn what I potentially wanted to earn just from commissions and from selling original art. I would have to sell it for thousands in order to earn what I wanted to earn. So I decided then that Patreon and teaching was going to be my full-time thing. I was going to become an art educator, and I love teaching art and doing that kind of thing. So this was just like, yes, beautiful. It was a match made in heaven with coloured pencils and wildlife. I was like, if I'm teaching, I can draw what I want to draw as well. I don't have to draw people's pets from blurry photos. I don't have to put myself through that, and I don't have to have the constraints of having someone tell me, no, this stripe isn't quite right. This eye is a little bit more blue. I didn't have that anymore. So I felt creatively free, and it was the best decision that I ever made to convert my income into teaching. So yeah, that's basically the story of how I have become an art teacher and where I am today. And by investing all of my time and all of my efforts into teaching and to making sure that my videos are edited in a nice way and that I have good solid equipment that I can film to the best of my ability, and just dedicating a lot of my time to building an audience and building that know, like and trust factor with my students as well, I'm able to earn over 50k a year now, which for some people that is quite a large amount, but I have ambitions to earn even more, and I'm trying to work as hard as I possibly can to grow my student base and to grow my Patreon and everything like that. I'm trying as hard as I can to make that even more scalable and to grow it more so that I can potentially earn 6 figures a year. That is my ultimate goal. And just by putting in that hard work and continuing to research and do all of that kind of thing, I'm going to get there in the next couple of years. You mark my words. And you guys can do it too. You can 100% earn whatever figure you want to with your art if you have the right guidance and you have a good fact-finding ability and all of that kind of thing, and the drive to actually do it. You can earn an unlimited amount from your art. Now, it's not necessarily earning art from your art per se, but you are still being an artistic person. You're still creating art. You just might not be selling art all the time in order to earn that income. So you really want to diversify that income stream. I'm always banging on about diversifying your income stream because it is so important that you don't just stick to one route. You need to have your fingers in lots of pies and really make sure that you are diversifying your income through several different things. Again, if you want to take a look at my how to make money as an artist video, everything will be explained on there. Like, there's a few different examples of different revenue streams and what you can potentially do as an artist. And also make sure that you take a look at my other art business videos as well, which I'll leave as a link in the description for you. Actually, I'll probably leave the playlist down there for you. But that has been my story on how I have worked with my art career, working from nothing to over 50k a year, and I hope that you found it useful, taken something away from this video, because I know a lot of you guys always ask me, like, how did you develop your art business? It's through a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a lot of blood, sweat and tears, crying, especially when things don't go completely 100% right. So that is how I have done it, and I hope you have taken something away from this. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below as well with what other art business related topics that you'd like me to cover, and I will make some new videos in the future for you guys. If you're new around here and you like this video and you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit subscribe and tick that notification bell so you can be notified as soon as my videos go live on my channel. I'd really love to have you join the family here and help each other grow as artists. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Have a great day and I'll see you later. Bye.